Hello, YouTube. RJ. Hey, run into a little interesting issue I'm going to work through. I thought I'd grab it on video for you. I can't find a whole lot on the internet about what I'm trying to do. Thought maybe it would help someone else if they ran into it. Got the 53131A frequency counter up here, and I was just playing around. I don't have all my parts in yet to pimp it out, but if you're one of my normal viewers, you know that I tend to log data into programs to track like the stability oscillators and such. And this frequency counter will be used for that. So I need a way to get data out of it. This is the only instrument I have that doesn't have LAN or USB. So I don't have anything that has HPIB or GPIB. And so the way I thought I would do this is it's got a serial port on the back of it, and you can't control it from that serial port, but it will output each reading on that serial port. And that would be good enough for me, at least for the moment. So I went ahead and I've got some serial to USB converters. And so I went online and I looked up and found what I could on using that feature and how to turn it on and such. And what I found was it said use a null cable, null modem cable, the old crossover null modem cables. When you had two DTEs or two DCEs that you wanted to communicate. Well, the computer is normally the DTE. And so I assume this must be a DTE. So I got a null modem cable and I've hooked it up. And I configured it. And how you configure it, let me turn it off here, is you hold the recall button while you turn the power on. And you get this menu. And if you go through, this is where you can set the address for the HPIB. And you set up a couple things. And one of the things is it sets up the COM port communication. Here it's set for 9600, which is what I saw online. Party off is what they called for. Software pace, that's supposed to be set to none. DTR is supposed to be set to hardware pace, which it is. And then you're done. So I've done that. I've done that. COM port set up. I've set up PuTTY, and I'm going to go start PuTTY. You'll be able to see it. I'll record it. So give me a second. I'll run over start PuTTY now that we've got this fired up. And we'll see where we won't get anything from this thing. Nothing at all. And then I'll turn on for it to start printing and watch what happens. Okay, as you can see, we're not getting anything on PuTTY through the COM port. So we probably just need to go turn it on. So if you hit save and print 3 times, it'll get you to the print menu. And if I turn that on, we should see it, the PuTTY terminal start collecting each reading. So let's go ahead and enter. It's on now. Go to run. You see it update. You don't see anything on PuTTY at all. But here's what's interesting. Notice that it's no longer updating. If I hit run, it'll update one more time. It stops. Something's keeping it from running. If we go back to the print and turn it off and save and go back, it will now gate and update continuously. So I have a theory what's going on, and this is the point where I decided to bring you guys in. I think what's happening is I'm wondering if this is not really needing to be a null cable. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick little test. There's a way to test the COM port and see whether it's a DTE or DCE. If this is a DCE, it means we shouldn't be using an old modem cable. So that's probably all the problem is. So let me get set up here on the bench, get this set down. We'll check that. I'll show you how I'm going to check that serial port to see, and then we'll go from there. Okay, I got set up on the bench. I pulled out my got some little DB9 COM port terminal strip units that plug in, make it a little easier to work with. Kind of hard to get on the little pins without shorting things out. You don't want to do that. So I'm going to stand up here when I see what I'm doing. We're looking at the voltmeter here. I'm going to get on 5. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at pin 3. And if I've got a negative voltage on pin 3, oh, let me turn it on would help. I do dumb things sometimes, like everybody. Okay, I've got a minus 8.227 voltage. Because I work with COM ports and design some equipment with COM ports, what that tells me, this is a DCE piece of equipment. Now, since computer ports tended to be DTE, your PC was always a DTE port, that tells me that the USB converter is going to represent a DTE. If this is a DC, this is a DTE, you would not use a null cable. So even though everything I saw online said use a null cable with this, I'm thinking that's because they were thinking of hooking a printer to it, which was the original intent of that port. But I found stuff talking about hooking to a computer. Here's how you do it. Here's the settings you need, and you use a null cable. This is telling me that should not be the case. So I'm going to put the straight cable on, put the meter away, put the straight cable on. We'll give it a try. And I'm going to stay with the straight cable because I know I have to have a straight cable then. There's no doubt we need a straight cable. If it doesn't work then, it's not that. Either I got a COM port problem or I've got some kind of configuration problem. But let me get this rigged up. Let's see where we end up by going to the straight cable. I do have a USB to straight cable also. I have both. I keep both of them in my supplies. So, okay, I've got this straight cable hooked up, USB to serial straight cable hooked up. Everything is up and running. Let's turn the print on and see what happens this time. Oops. No, it's locked up. Got nothing on putty. Let me look at the settings again. I know we're on the right cable now. I mean, that test verified. This is the correct cable. So all the trying different settings was no good when you're on the wrong cable. So let's try a couple of settings. There's one that I've got a question of in here. Let's take a look at it. Let's turn the meter off, hold recall, hit power, and let's go to the COM port settings. Okay, 9600, yes. Party off. Software paste, none, correct. This one bugs me. Hardware paste. Well, we're not using hardware at all, so I'm not sure why they said that should be on. I'm thinking, well, I know I don't want limit. It has to do with setting upper and lower limits. And the other choice is high. So how about we do this? Let's get the meter back to print is off. Let's change that setting. DTR high, yep, that's what I want. Okay. Probably didn't accomplish anything. Let's set our gate speed up to 1 second. Okay. Now, does anything change if we turn print on? So print on, enter. Yeah, I think something's changed because it's blinking. Yeah, it's updating. It's not froze up. Hey, look at this. And we're working. So I went through all those attempts of different configuration changes. Nothing worked for me because I was using the old cable they told me to use. So that's the secret. It's a straight cable. If you want to use a USB from your computer to a COM cable for this print port, make sure you're using a normal one, not a null. And you saw the settings. 96, 81, none. And make sure that your DTR is set to high. That apparently causes it to stop running. It doesn't run. It waits for something. So apparently it's waiting for a DTR to go high from your terminal or your software. So with that, we got it working. COM port works fine. So if you run into this and you have a problem with the HP device trying to work with the COM port, that's where you're at least with this frequency meter. So thanks for tuning in and helping me troubleshoot this problem. And hopefully you learned something. Maybe somebody searched and found this video and it helped them and saved them a whole lot of heartache, a lot of time, a lot of trouble. Thanks for keeping me company, and most of all, hope to see you in the next video.